is currently about 4.5 billion years old. And during its creation, there have been a total of 5 great mass extinctions, resulting in the deaths of 99% of all species on Earth to become extinct. That's a lot of people and animals. The human extinction is a fraction of that. We're only about 200,000 years old. And even though that's a small number compared to the Earth's creation, we have still undergone great massive change. Our population has increased since that of about 60 years ago. And because of the great exponential growth of the people, there has been significant declining crop numbers. And scientists have been using data from the 1960s to the early 2000s and created multiple different models. But the result is mostly the same, that in 2050, if no change is brought onto the current global issue of the fact that the environment is becoming unstable, then 10% of the world's crops will disappear. And 10% is actually a big number, especially since there are 7.2 billion people on the Earth right now. And crop declination is mostly due to the fact that the ozone layer is weakening and that mass amounts of CO2 emissions have been brought into the air, causing pollution. And pollution is pretty bad. The pollution and the CO2 emissions in the air cannot all be taken into the plants, which creates photosynthesis and release oxygen. Because the CO2 emissions that we release is outnumbering the O2 releases of the plants. And the underwater sea life isn't helping with the number either. The thing is that it's important. The fact that it's the air means that all of us are being affected. Not just one type of people, but some people are being more affected than others. We have the developed people, the developing people, and the least developed people being born into those type of countries. And it's the least developed people that are facing the majority of the effects. Of course, there have been efforts to calm this down. We have the Kyoto Protocol, the Montreal Protocol, and of course the Millennium Project. The Millennium Project has shown great, significant improvements to this problem, as well as the Kyoto Protocol, although not all countries follow it. The majority of the countries that do follow it, though, have been able to clear most CFCs, which damage the ozone layer and cause the crops to have diseases that normally wouldn't happen. And the thing is that we can change this if we put in more efforts to these. That is all.